All right, welcome to my review at Married at First Sight, Season 12 in the ATL. Yes, my name is Tiffany Little. And I just kind of wanted to do a quick review. I was going to review Married at First Sight last season, but I didn't. I can't remember why. I think I just got busy. During the pandemic, stuff slowed down. I was off work for a while, then I had to go back. And so they called us back to our office. So I didn't get to review it, but I really did enjoy season 11. I'm a big Married at First Sight. I watched it when it first came on initially, like years ago, the first two seasons. Then I kind of just lost track from seasons like 3 to I think 8 maybe. So I watched 9, 10, 11, I think about 8. So I missed some of the craziness between some of the people that they had. And then some of the people that are still married that came out. So, but I'm reviewing again season 12, and I'm not going to keep you long because I watched the kind of like kickoff show, and then I watched the one last week, which was like 3 hours, which is really literally too long of an episode. Like, I'm used to the 2 hours. I don't know why they felt the need to cram everything into that 3 hours. I like the initial format when it started off, which the initial format before it was even on Lifetime. I think it was FYI, or I can't remember, like years ago. Was just that we were introduced to the couples. The couples were getting married. They were on the honeymoon, and it has built their life, and it kind of went from that perspective. But now we kind of have, the pony show where you got to see how every. I guess they're probably trying to do it in so many words to get you to maybe see more of the personality. But I think once we get in the thick of things and everything else throughout the show, we get to see their personalities. We get to see how they function. We get to see how they mesh. Now, they again they're still keeping up with the five couples, which is kind of newer. I want to say, well, I'm not even going to try and figure out what season, but the five couples, which has been their format pretty much, maybe the past couple of seasons. What's different this season is some of the couples have like a age difference, a big age difference. Like you have Eric and no, sorry, not Eric. Haley and Jacob, they're 10 years apart. Haley's 28, Jacob's 38. And then we have our first interracial couple, which I know some people, used to ask Pastor Kyle, why is there no interracial couples? And they say a lot of times it was more the black men that wanted to date outside as opposed to the white women wanting to date outside. So, they found somebody that looks like in Claire and Ryan, who is going to be our first interracial couple. And yes, Ryan, he's not biracial because I was wondering maybe if he's biracial, but looking at both his parents and then seeing his brother Chad, okay? Chad was cute. After seeing Chad, we was like, oh yeah. He got the tighter hair, and I'm not saying, if you come, if you're biracial, because sometimes, but looking at both his parents are black. Probably one is just lighter and, just genetics overall. Because I have some family members like that. They have a certain texture of hair, certain color eyes, but both parents are black. One might be, especially within my mom and her sisters, like, my grandmother was light. So the baby girl is like everybody else is like maybe caramel, brown, and a little bit darker. But they're all siblings with different hair textures, pretty much the same features. I mean, it's funny. They all have like these small mouths and thin noses, which is funny to me, but we used to make jokes about it. But I mean, I'm just saying genetics, because we always like, oh, they probably ain't black. No, they probably are. Some of our families is just when you get blackness, you just get all kinds of shades, especially because of the slave trade and master putting his hands where he didn't want me to put them. But that's not this conversation. I'm gonna stay focused on Married at First Sight because I can go off on a tangent. So, like I said, I mentioned Ryan and Clara. Both, again, first interracial couple. Claire's a flight attendant. Ryan looks like he likes to work out a lot. He's ready to fall in love. He's seen his parents married for 30 some years and he wants that love. Claire is just tired of relationships and getting tired of getting hit on by old men. So the synopsis I'm going to give is kind of like what they probably already given. And then a few comments after that. And next we have Brianna and Vincent. I think Brianna is very beautiful. Oh my goodness, her skin. I kept looking at her skin like, oh my goodness, I love your skin. And I'm not creepy or anything. I have a license in cosmetology, and I used to, did a facial. So for me, skincare is important. So I'm not like some kind of thing, but her skin is just beautiful. It's radiant, and it's just so even, and it's gorgeous. And so we have her. I almost want to call her Princess Brianna, but I think she just wants somebody that's gonna love her, take care of her, and that's probably sure and secure. You know, sometimes it's easy to judge people. Oh, they want this, but we don't until sometimes we understand the past relationships people have. We don't know why they make those suggestions or what they may have felt like they settled for previously. Vincent is Dominican. He's handsome, got a nice little beard. Be careful what I say, but let's say Poppy. But no, he is. He's very handsome. He had previously got out of a relationship. I don't remember how long ago they said, but he had been in a relationship where he didn't feel supported, and I know that's probably something pretty important for most people. They need to feel like they're being supported and and loved, and men do need that. So that's Vincent and Brianna, and I didn't write down their age. We got Chris and Paige, which is everybody's like they praying for Paige, and it looks like this couple is going to be off the hook. And I know a lot of people had issue like, oh, they're probably not compatible. Chris is off the hook, and I think he is to a certain degree. But I think with Paige's personality and just seeing her and the things that she desires, she also has that mindset that she wants to be like that power couple. She wants that husband that's kind of, I think, in a sense, take charge, but it then allows her to lead. And I think because he also wants somebody that he kind of wants to run things to, I think he wants somebody a little bit more submissive. But I think if Chris tones down, what is it I'm thinking of? If he tones down, you know, the unnatural level of masculinity that sometimes is shown, if he allows himself to be open and listen and try and work through. I think he's teachable. His pastor was fine. The pastor, he was Lord Jesus. His pastor was fine. Shoot, I ain't gonna lie. Me being a single woman, I was like, is he married? But yes, he has a ring on the left hand. So yes, but he is fine and smart man for being not nice looking and being married. But I think the talk that Chris had with his pastor, I think that was very significant. I think if he allowed himself to, and I don't know, they could suggest, let's do this talk with your pastor to make it look like you're trying to grow. I think if he has some form of accountability, if he's talking with his pastor and he's trying to grow, I think that does show something. Is he fully mature? Probably not. He's what, I think 27 maybe. And so sometimes even then, we have to recognize, and again, this is not a knock. There's just certain things that don't come cognitively present in some of us till age 24, 25. That's just a scientific fact, and it's not to knock. So, we might be a couple years in for all the cognitive, I know we can drive a car at 16 and drink at 21. Don't mean that all the decisions we're going to make, especially at that age. And then we're not raised the same as our parents. Our parents, grandparents, they were raised with life skills. They were raised to do certain things. It's a different generation. And I'm not saying we don't raise our kids to have those, but I think some of the things that, great grandma, big ma, and some of those things have kind of gotten lost. And so, and because the trajectory of life is so different, I think we expect people to be where we're at a certain age or even in a certain generation. My generation, um, there was still some immatureness. I can even think back at my being at that age, thinking I, wanted and needed certain things. Your 20s is kind of that age where wisdom is wisdom is not fully there. I'm not saying you're stupid, but to have a certain level of wisdom in your 20s is not the same as your 30s, and most definitely not the same as your 40s. So, um, and so I think Paige and Chris will be okay. I did see from the previews he does seem a little hot headed. I'm not sure what the situation, the beef between him and Eric, who is the guy that is, I believe, marrying Virginia. I'm not sure what the beef is. That could be just a much. I don't know. I haven't watched it yet to determine. Because it looks like Chris the aggressor and then Eric, like the good guy, and that could all be, optics, and it could just be sometimes you just have some people who won't mind their business and they constantly in yours, or they nitpicking, or it's an ego trip. So we don't know. But I mean, I think Chris might be teachable, but the situation that I think that's going on with him and Paige, it's really gonna rock things. I think they would make a good couple. Um, I think if they can just get past too, because they're both in a sense. Paige, wants a God fearing man. He wants a God fearing woman. I think if they can kind of get out of that Instagram superficial power couple, the things that so many of us, and in a sense, it's kind of not their fault because if we look at a lot of things on social media, it makes you think that's how life is supposed to be. You have this pastor over here, his wife, and you have all these people being power couples and they're doing things and it looks beautiful. And I'm not saying, but I think sometimes we can easily be influenced, especially when you're younger. You think that's how it's supposed to look, and that's what that generation is presenting. And so that's what you want. You want to be that power couple, you want that husband. But in a sense, you have to decide what's really best for you. And then next we have Eric and Virginia, who too have a pretty significant age gap. They're 12 years apart actually, because Virginia's 26. Or am I doing that wrong? I think I'm doing that wrong. Sorry, they're 8 years. My bad, 8 years. I'm reading backwards. Don't ask me why. Sorry, they're 8 years apart, which is almost close to Jacob and Haley. Erica's kind of like the pilot, likes to fly, likes to go away a lot. Virginia's kind of like the party girl. I know in the previous episode where they had on like the guest panels with Kevin Frazier, somebody made a joke like, hey, while he's out flying, she could be out getting, wasted. I think I see what that couple is going to be the issue is, I don't know, I put them as the odd couple because he's a pilot like the party girl. And I think he's going to appreciate her being younger, but I think it's also something, that's going to interfere. Maybe if she's like always getting wasted and kind of has like a semblance of independence that she wants to hold on to. Um, and, again, this is experiment. They have so many weeks to get adjusted to each other. It's not going to be easy to transition your lifestyle because I know everybody's like, we sign up, but, funny thing is people think they're ready for stuff. And then when you get in it, you realize maybe I wasn't as ready as I thought I was. Maybe I wasn't as healed as I thought I was. And it doesn't matter what extensive questions you ask if you believe you're ready until you get the situation. Because a lot of times relationships will test where you're at. Yeah, you can do some work. You can do stuff like grief recovery. You can do, write letters to the past and burn them up and other stuff. But you have to still continue a certain level of work. And when you get in relationships, even though you have done that work, you still have to continue to reflect on that work, see what that work has done for you, and make sure that you truly are ready to enter in that relationship. So that's pretty much, I think I covered everybody. Haley is 28. She kind of reminds me of Jessica from season, what was Jessica and Austin? So at season 11, I think that was season 11. For some reason, she kind of gives me that vibe, which I did like Jessica. Jessica was sweet. And then Jacob, he's like the 80s guy. He kind of has his biological watch. I see it because he's a guy, not a clock, but watch because he wants to have children. He wants to be married. I think Eric was previously married and divorced. So, kind of going back to that, I was just talking about dealing with issues. If he hasn't dealt with certain things to himself, he can bring some of that stuff into the marriage with her. Jacob, I'm not sure what relationship issues he's had prior, but it looks like according to the preview that he's bringing in. So I mean, this one we pretty much got to see them trying on tuxes, preparing, having a bachelorette party, getting excited. Unfortunately, I like Claire. Claire was kind of freaking out, especially with the blindfold on, and her hair and her dress being too short, and so we kind of ended that. Only thing I recommend Lifetime, we don't need 3 hours and we don't need to see all that. There has to be a way to condense. I mean, it was cool seeing, Chris talk to his pastor, but we kind of didn't have to, I don't know, we didn't have to see it. Just so many things we didn't have to see. I kind of like where they just kind of showed us the five couples. They met up for, as bachelorettes and bachelors, and they just had their party. They met up, they did whatever. I do want to address, I was kind of disappointed in Vincent kind of flirting. And I don't know if it's because he's drunk, but and he like it's the last night. I was kind of disappointed in him flirting with the stripper. Um, and then I don't know why I keep wanting to call him Mike, but his name is Chris. I don't know why I keep wanting to say Mike for some reason. He gives me a Mike vibe. Don't ask me what a Mike vibe is, but I feel like his name should be Michael. But it's Chris. So with Chris and that rubber doll, I don't know if he was trying to be funny or cute, but it wasn't. It was like tacky, like frat boy tacky. Like that's the vibe. Like I like he should have been in a frat somewhere, like I don't know, with a beer pong, drunk, just ready. I don't know, doing something stupid, but it just wasn't funny at all. And everybody else, I'm not gonna say they seemed uptight, but they seemed kind of judgmental. And I think that some of that we saw, if we pay close attention, is probably what's going to lead up to maybe some of the people's ideas about others in the season. Um, Hopefully nobody, I think this season when I watched the kickoff show, they were trying to compare couples or say this couple gives me this vibe. Um, I think season 11 just rocked out. I don't know if we're going to get a Woody. And I doubt if we get a Woody and Monty. They were just beautiful, just like the one season, season 9. Was it season 9 or was it season 10? Where we got a Greg and Deanna. Oh, I loved Greg and Deanna. But then we got followed up season 10 with the crap show of Michael and Brandon and Taylor and Mika. Unfortunately, they got some duds. So, it wasn't happening. But I'm excited to see Brianna and Vincent. They look like they're really going to like each other again. That's the only thing about watching the previews because you're like, oh, trying to determine who's going to stay together. I'm not sure. I need to watch some more. I am rooting for Brianna and Vincent. Um, I'm kind of rooting for Chris and Paige because they seem like sometimes a couple will be like, oh, they don't seem like they fit. They fit. Haley and Jacob, I don't know. Eric and Virginia, they just don't. Ryan and Claire, maybe, because again, I kind of like Claire. I like her personality. I know she's very talkative, but I kind of like because she has a fun girl personality, and she seems like she's that chick that kind of like would just like to hang with people and kind of got that vibe. Like I'm down with you. Virginia, I don't know. I think she had too much to drink. It just kind of threw me off. I'm not going to judge her. But I think just to get wasted to get wasted. Some people do. Again, that's not my lifestyle, so I'm gonna be careful what I say. Yeah, if I'm getting drunk to the point where I'm throwing up, and I was there in my teenage years where I had too much to drink, the hangover and stuff that you have after that, it's not worth it. And plus, depending on alcohol, it's not very good to me. But that's just me. Anyways, but Erica Virginia, I don't know. And it's not even so much the age difference. I think it's gonna be a personality thing. I think it really is. I think it's gonna be a personality issue. Haley and Jacob, they might make it. I just hope yeah, they just kind of, I don't know. Some of the guys can kind of stiff and stale. Again, I'm not saying that you have to go pat and dance with the strippers or what. I mean, but I think it kind of speaks a little bit about the personality and being able to loosen up just a little bit. Again, that's not my lifestyle. But I guess I'm just kind of thinking of Bennett. Like last season, Bennett didn't care. He was just dancing, and it didn't intimidate him. And I think I'm thinking of, and I'm not trying to make Bennett be some kind of standard from last season, but I think it kind of speaks the ability to be like, I'm gonna relax in this situation and be comfortable. Again, like I said, it's not that he had to go dance with the stripper, and yeah, and the stripper scene. I don't know, but I don't know. I don't think we really needed that either. It's just some things I just don't. I don't think we needed. And I guess maybe they were trying to show Atlanta because Atlanta, the strippers in Atlanta, because Atlanta's known for its strippers. And I don't know, maybe they were trying to keep the strippers kind of clean. I don't know how clean you can keep strippers because they don't look like Players Club type of scenes that I'm pretty sure that a lot of people go to in the strip club. They don't look like the strippers I saw in the voting commercial, okay? You go to the polls from the poll, but nah. So I mean that's pretty much it. I don't really have nothing to recap because it was too long, and after too long, I kind of lost interest by the third hour. I'm like, what are we doing here, Lifetime? And so hopefully I will have them better, more in depth. So I just kind of want to talk about um, our casting characters for Married at First Sight, season 12. I am Tiff, and I am out. Uh, like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you want more. Peace.